Last week, I thought I understood what I was doing. Turns out, I didn't. And the weird part is, I didn't break any rules. Technically, I did everything right. But when I watched the footage back, it felt flat. And I couldn't explain why. The rule wasn't the problem. It was my decision. I'm not a full-time creator. I have a full-time job. I'm learning this stuff out loud. And this was the first time I realized the rule wasn't the problem. My decisions were. Once I realized this was a problem I couldn't fix, I stopped trying to fix it. Instead of asking, am I following the rule? I started asking a different question. What am I actually looking at? So I pulled one photo up and didn't touch anything. I didn't turn grids on. I didn't try to reframe it. I just looked at it. That's when I noticed something I hadn't been paying attention to before. My eye didn't know where to land. Everything in the frame had equal weight, which meant nothing mattered. So this time, instead of adjusting the frame to fit the rule, I picked one thing in the scene and said, this is my subject. Not the sharpest thing, not the centered thing, just the one thing that felt like it mattered. Then, and only then, did I apply the rule. I moved that one thing, I gave it space, I let the rest of the frame support it instead of competing with it. Same camera, same scene, same rule. Completely a different feeling. And that's when it finally clicked. The rule didn't make it better. It was the decision that did. The rule just helped me place the decision. And that was the part I skipped before. I was using composition like it was instructions, when it's really more like punctuation. It doesn't tell you what to say. It just helps make it clearer once you decide to say something. And I'm realizing that's what I've been missing. Not knowledge, not technique, but the willingness to choose. When the heat pump quit, it was obvious there was something wrong. It got colder in me. I could feel it even before I knew what it was. So I stopped editing and did what I always do when something breaks. I listened. No burning smell, fan was still running, but the compressor wasn't. That narrowed it down pretty fast. I didn't panic, I didn't spiral, I just started testing. By the end of the night, I knew exactly what the problem was. It was the capacitor. Not dramatic, not mysterious, just failed. So I ordered the part, waited a day, installed it, flipped the switch, and the heat came back. Problem solved. And that part sure felt good, because I understand that kind of problem. There's a process, there's the right part, there's a moment where it either works or it doesn't. But when I sat back down to edit, nothing changed. Same photos, same timeline, same feeling. I knew the rule of thirds. I had the grids on. Everything was technically correct. And yet, it still felt wrong. That's when I realized really how uncomfortable this was. But I keep treating it like it's a mechanical failure, like there was a missing part, or a setting I hadn't turned on yet, or a rule I hadn't learned yet. But this wasn't that kind of problem. There was nothing left to even diagnose. No test run, no part to order. There was no YouTube video that was gonna hand me the answer. I wasn't missing information. I wasn't avoiding a decision, because rules don't tell you what matters. They only tell you where to put stuff once you decide it matters. And I hadn't decided it. I kept hoping the rule was going to do it for me. That if I followed it closely enough, the photo would magically feel right. Kind of the same way the heat pump suddenly did. But it just doesn't work that way. Some problems reward effort. Some problems demand judgment. And this one wasn't broken. It was waiting on me. I fixed the heat in this RV, and I'm still sitting here looking at these images, realizing that knowing the rule wasn't going to fix them. It just showed me where I stopped. I'm not here to pretend I have this all figured out. I'm here to keep moving and take whoever wants to come along. Here's the part I didn't expect. I didn't break the rule. And that's the problem. Because if following the rule doesn't guarantee meaning, then I don't actually know what I'm doing yet. And next time, I'm not fixing the frame. I am trying to figure out what the frame is supposed to say.